Welcome
Welcome to the
to the
Empress and
Empress
the
and the
Fool.
Fool.
I'm Sarah Ditmore,
And I'm Kaitlyn Grewal.
and we're here to discuss all things magical and mystic from the perspective of two curious witches.
That's not a part of the script that we have, but I must.
It happens every time anyway. Can we talk about what a dirty hippie I am?
Yes, please.
So I
Every
want
day.
you to describe to the listeners the container I am using to drink my homemade iced latte right now.
Oh my God. You
It is
are a
not a
dirty
mason
hippie.
jar. If you're thinking, oh, it must be a mason jar, it is not.
No, no, it's more elevated. It's
It's
like
more
even
elevated.
dirtier and hippier. It is a almost like it's like a flask shaped milk jar from what I can only assume is a local
It's
dairy.
from Silly Farms hot chocolate. You've never seen Silly Farms hot chocolate? Or Silly
Silly
Cow.
cow,
Silly Cow Farms.
silly cow farms. It's a hot chocolate container.
They sell the best hot chocolate.
I've I'm never really a huge hot chocolate person unless it's like really dark and with a little flaky sea salt.
Uniquely
Oh, it's you.
Vermont.
Oh my God. That is like the most like organic hippie thing I've seen in a
It
while.
is a
But you
milk chocolate.
do.
It is a milk chocolate mix, so you wouldn't like it, but you can even still see like
Mm,
the printed sell-by date on it. And I've got
Sarah.
my little metal
You're like
straw.
your earth conscious straw going on. My
Yeah,
goodness. I mean, it's a
truly.
glorious sight, but
I feel next level.
you are you're just like
I've
peak farmers
ascended to
market.
California hippie goddess form. My
It's a
truest
California
form.
farmers market hippie.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. To be
That's
clear,
very,
it's not like
yes,
the like acid and music hippie. It's
yes,
like, I trade baked goods for strawberries hippie.
yes. And you have one of those net shopping bags, like the
Or
little
a
net, or
crochet mushroom bag given to me by a very special friend.
hi, I'm the special
And yes, I do
friend.
have one of those net shopping bags, but let's not
I
talk
know
about
that.
it.
No, we won't discuss it. I just know. I'm aware. I've never seen it, but I'm just know things. Oh my God.
Anywho, what's going on in your life, Caitlin?
Before we talk about today's episode, which will be about practical magic,
Ah,
which I'm so
yes.
excited to talk about, um, I did want to say I have two talking points.
Okay.
One is I had the craziest thing happen to me today.
Okay.
I have my puppy. She's 4.5 months old now. She's almost 5 months old. And she's the most precious little bean. We took her to PetSmart for the first time. Um, I
Baby.
know she got to pick out some of her own toys and her own bed and stuff like that, which was really cute. So it's like overwhelming. And then we took her to the container store
Oh,
and I walked in, I know, which is like a kind of like neurodivergent person's dream.
I can't spend too much time in Container Store because I will decide I need to organize everything in my entire life. I
100%.
am one of those people who truly believes that like the right organizational, so like I'm one good organizational system away from fixing all my problems. You know?
Yes, yes, yes.
Maybe it's a spreadsheet, maybe it's a container, but one day it's all gonna
Mm-hmm.
click and I will
Mm-hmm.
never be anxious again.
And once I spend like $1,000 on nesting stackable containers, I
Yeah,
will be
stationery. Don't
unstoppable.
even get me started on stationery.
I
It can
forgot
kill
how
you.
much I forgot how much stuff they have there. I almost fell into like a full on
Yeah.
shopping hole. But so I was walking down up and down the aisles. My dad was getting actually containers to separate Sora's treats.
Cute.
Yeah, because we have so many different kinds right now.
Yeah.
Like training, teething,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever.
You
So
need
we were
like
like
what do they
high
call it? High
value.
value. Yeah.
Yeah, high value treats. We have like freeze dried lamb liver. We
Okay,
have like, yeah,
okay.
all these things. So it's like my dad went to go find that. I was walking around and I saw a lady come up to me in one of the store aisles and I was like, oh, fuck, she's gonna ask me to leave because I have a dog. And she came up and I was like, no, do I have to go? And she's like, no, I brought treats. Can I come and say hi to your dog? And then
So
like
cute.
other people started emerging and they're like, oh, can I, like store employees were like, can I pet your dog too? And I was like, this is so great. Yeah, 100%.
Oh
Like,
my
and
God.
she's so wiggly and she loves everyone. She loves
Oh,
everyone and loves everything. And her whole body wiggles.
stop.
Like, as soon as she
Oh.
sees someone, she's
Yeah, I've
like,
seen those dogs where it's like just head to toe. They keep making C's with their body. Like,
uh-huh. That's her.
oh,
She's like a little rotini. She like becomes a
oh,
little pasta. She's like a little curly cute. It's so cute.
that's
Um,
so
so
cute.
she was so happy. So we kept on walking around the store and different like salespeople there kept on coming up to us and being like, "Oh my God, can I pet your dog?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm so popular at the container store. This is awesome." So then while we were checking out, we ran into a lady who was asking customer service person there.
Mhm.
And then another customer came up and she was like, "Oh my God, what kind of dog do you have?" And I was like, "Well, she's a
Okay.
Cocker Spaniel Golden Retriever." She was like, I have the same dog. I was like, "No way, I've never heard that before." And she's like, "Yeah. Any chance did you get her locally?" And I said, "No, we had to travel. Like, I wish I could have rescued her from somewhere, but like
Yeah.
she found me and it just happened the way it did." She's like, "Any chance you got her from A&K Gold Rush Retrievers?" I was like, our dogs are cousins or siblings or
No
something.
way.
We got our dogs from the same breeder. This random woman that I met at the container store has the
And the
same
breeder's
dog.
not even like in
They're in
Denver.
Illinois.
Yeah. That's incredible. Well, did you guys like exchange info? You gotta hang.
We didn't.
Oh,
But she showed me photos of her dog. Her dog looks like a golden retriever. Mine looks like a cocker spaniel because she's black.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hers is like golden, like that actual golden
Baby.
color. And she was like, "This is her at 2 years. I just want to let you know everyone's still going to ask if she's a puppy. She's the kindest, smartest, sweetest, like little thing." I was like,
Stop.
"Oh, that's so nice for her to say."
Oh,
The weirdest, like the
that's
weirdest.
incredible. That's incredible.
The container
Oh,
store is magic, y'all.
the container store is magic. That's the moral of the story.
Oh my God, no.
All your
Container store
problems can be
is the
solved at the
practical
container
magic.
store. What?
The container store is the practical magic.
Oh, like if we're talking about practical magic is like magic in
Yes,
the everyday, I believe
yes.
that. Yeah.
It was a magical atmosphere, and they have literally everything you need to make your life better.
Which I feel like is so rare to feel that by like about a department store with fluorescent lighting.
I never,
But the
I would
container
never.
store is of a different caliber.
Yeah, they were like, "Come by with your dog, even if you don't buy anything." And I was like, "Oh, I could very well do that, but I will buy things."
Also, talking about like shopkeepers or shop employees
Hmm.
who love dogs, there's like you're not supposed to bring dogs inside of coffee shops or restaurants because of health
Hmm.
codes,
That
but
makes
there's
sense.
one coffee shop out here that lets you anyway. Um, and so Mowgli
Fuck the
knows
rules.
that that building is full of pets. And so anytime we walk by this building, he like tries to go inside because he knows they'll give him love. And so
Oh,
yesterday I let him convince me into buying an iced latte because I was like, okay, fine, you need love, I need coffee, let's go.
yeah.
And so we went inside and we're standing in line, like, and I start talking to the people, and the woman working the register asks if she can give Mowgli a pup cup. And so Mowgli had his first ever pup cup
Oh
yesterday.
my God. For people who don't know what a pup cup is, it's
Where have
so
you been?
cute. Where have you been? It's basically like a tiny little cup of whipped cream
Yeah. And like first of all,
and a
I am
dog
now
treat.
never going to be able to walk past that
No,
coffee shop because
that's
Mowgli now
done.
knows not only are there pets, there are pup cups, but also on the outside of the pup cup, they have it gives you if you bring the empty pup cup next door to the locally owned like dog shop, you get $5 off. Is that not the cutest shit?
That's really
Like
sweet.
this is what I love about living in a small town.
That's really sweet. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
unbelievably cute. Oh, I
I know.
love.
I know.
Oh my God. But pivoting away from dogs,
Okay,
my
yes.
second point of business is, have you heard of the TV show called The Traitors?
Was it not you who was just telling me about this?
Did I mention I don't think I mentioned this on the last episode.
No, but did we have a call recently?
I think maybe we did.
Okay, if we mentioned this on the last episode, I will cut this section out.
Perfect. I don't think I did because I think I wanted to, but I didn't. It's
Yeah.
basically I'm not a reality I'm not a reality show person unless it's something like really, really insane.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, like MILF Manor is a big, big trash fire. It's a big dumpster fire and it's awful. And I have to watch because it's like The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliantly insane.
Okay.
So Traitors is a game reality show where they bring all these reality stars on from like Housewives to Survivor to like all of these other things that I've never heard of and never watched. But they
Yeah.
all are invited to Alan Cummings' castle in Scotland.
Okay.
He is dressed up in every episode, in every scene. He is snatched. He is wearing full length kilt
Oh
dresses.
my
He is
God.
wearing mixed clashing patterns. It's gorgeous. And
I
they have
love
to
the idea that he was just like, this is what I want to do with my free time.
I'm going to invite all of these reality stars to my estate, to my castle in
Oh my God,
Scotland.
I just had to look up who Alan Cumming was because I didn't know that name,
He
and I'm
is
so happy with what I have found.
he is Floop from Spy Kids is probably what our generation
Mhm.
remembers him as. He is
Yes.
an icon and I didn't know he was Scottish until the
Oh my God.
show.
That's what I remember from him from is from Josie and the Pussycats.
No
Yeah,
way.
he's like the evil guy in Josie and the Pussycats.
He's an evil guy in Spy Kids. Like, but he's
Yeah.
so cute. Like, I don't get
Oh my
it.
God, so
Um,
funny.
I know. So he has this estate in Scotland. He invites all these people there to play a version of Mafia. The game that you
That's
play
just
with
the
your
whole show.
that's the whole show is that
Oh my
there's a
God.
group of people there. There's like 20 people
Oh my
there or
God, I just
something.
looked it up on Google and you're not kidding. His outfits are
In
unreal. Like, I thought
insane.
you meant like, oh, he's just like nicely dressed.
No,
He's wearing
no.
like full, like what you would expect to see at like a Scottish Met Gala.
I was gonna
It's
say
the
full
only way I can
couture
describe
kilt.
it. Yeah.
Oh my God. No, it's worth watching just for that. But then there's all these reality star people that I personally don't really care about, but there's some drag queens from RuPaul's
Oh
Drag Race
my
on there.
God.
Most recently, I've been watching the season with Bob the drag
Oh
queen.
my God, is Alan Cumming my new like role model?
Obsession. Yes, he will be. Yeah, get ready. So all these reality stars come there, and then he has this
Unreal.
insane like round. It's the round table where he goes around and pick who the traitors are, but he doesn't call them traitors. He calls them
Oh my God.
traitors.
I was gonna
Traitors.
try to copy that, and then I realized I don't have the ability to make those sounds with my mouth.
So he picks like two or three reality stars to be the traitors or the mafia and in secret, and they have to keep their identity hidden and then like kill, quote unquote, kill the different members of the faithful group or the innocent people, but they're called the faithful. And
Oh
then they
my
have to do
God.
these like challenges in the Scottish Highlands.
Oh my God.
It's
I want to become famous quickly so that I can get on this. Like, I've never wanted to be famous before, but for this experience
yes,
alone.
it
Wow.
looks so fun and it's really fun to watch. Like, I don't know, if you're a person who does watch reality TV, like I bet it's really fun like seeing people
I don't,
on
but
like
this
Big
looks fun.
Brother and they
Yeah,
get
that's
on this
true. That's
show.
true. Like, if you actually recognize the people.
Yeah. But then they have to do challenges so you can if you get to the end, you win $250,000.
Incredible.
But to get the $250,000, you have to do challenges like swimming in the lock to go
Got it.
blow
So it's
something
not
up. Yeah.
just playing Mafia. You have to like
Yeah.
do other shit too.
Yeah, you also have to win, you have to earn the money.
Incredible.
So very, very much please watch. And if you don't watch, just go look up Alan Cummings outfits from this. It's like
Yeah, if you
just
just Google Alan Cumming the Traders, you will
oh,
and go to Google Images, you will not
oh
be disappointed.
no, you won't. Anyway, I had to mention it because we do have that connection from Scotland and
And also
also
just because any human with taste should witness these outfits. He has a
and
parrot in this one. No, wait, it's not a parrot. It's a rooster sitting on like a parrot perch.
he has peacocks on the estate too.
Oh, wow.
Yes. It's insane. He's also 60 years old. Like, can we just
My hero.
yeah, no, he's absolutely insane. And Peppermint was on the last season. Bob the
Ugh,
drag queen was on this new season that I've been
incredible.
watching. Yeah, so it's been like really fun to also see. And like Peppermint was really sweet. She was like, "I'm here to like bring visibility to trans people and to like bring awareness to that like
Yeah.
we exist, and for anybody watching like trans people, you can be here. Like you
Oh, I
can be
love
famous. Like
that.
you can be on TV.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Oh, cute.
soon.
Okay,
Anyway,
cool. Love it. Definitely gonna
yeah,
have to watch that.
yes. There's so much drama. It's so funny.
Oh,
All right. Okay.
just because it looks like they bring in all like these reality TV show people, so like Drama is their middle name.
But the first season, half of the people are normal people, and then the
Good.
other half are reality show.
Yes.
Then they stopped doing that, which
Incredible.
is so dumb. But half of the people there are like, I'm a kindergarten teacher.
Oh my
I'm
God, that
like
sounds
a
so much
political
better.
analyst. I
But
know.
I guess they probably had like enough people who were like, we want to do this, that they're like, all right, well, we'll just have all the famous people come.
It's so many. There's so many people who get on there, and then like when they get like killed off, they're like, I wanted to be here so bad. Like I wanted to be here so bad.
Just a
Um,
big party.
Yeah, and I do think that they have like a separate wardrobe or like a closet for the competitors there to pick
Incredible.
their outfits from, because a lot of people are wearing like cute little berets and little kilts and like tartan like I want to read that closet. Like y'all didn't show up here like in Scotland chic. Y'all picked from a
I love
closet of
that.
stylists. Like, oh my God, my dream. Anyway, go watch it.
I
That's enough
will.
from
That
that's
sounds,
enough.
I don't watch a ton of TV, but I might make an exception for that because that sounds worth my time.
Yes, it is very much worth your time. And it's like low stakes. It's like kind of watching like the
Yeah. Well, that's
political
the problem is like I
treachery.
mostly just watch TV while I'm doing other shit. So I feel like that will be good because it'll be like can be kind of background.
There's no plot. You're just watching. It's like all the political treachery and intrigue of like Game of Thrones without all of the other stuff.
Yeah, like no stakes. Yeah.
No stakes. And it's so complicated. So this one's just like, you voted for me, you bitch. You think I'm a traitor? I'm not. Like, oh,
Amazing.
good.
Incredible. I'm here for it.
All right, that's traitor. That's traitor watch.
Yes. On
But
that note,
yeah,
what are we talking about today?
we're gonna dive into some practical magic, and
Mm.
we talk about a lot of magic things, and a lot of it is practical, but
Yes.
specifically, we're going to be talking about like ways that you can incorporate magic into your everyday life, into like cleaning, dressing,
Yeah.
just doing things, just kind of like little ways. I know,
Exactly. I think a lot of
yeah.
people get really overwhelmed with like how do I bring magic into my life? And
Mhm.
like, I think that there's a lot of focus on like new moon rituals and like big
Mhm.
magical undertakings. And we've talked about some of that. Like in our spring magic episode, we talk about various like
Mhm.
rituals and things you can do. But I think like both Kaitlyn and I are pretty down to earth with our approach to magic and just kind of like integrate it into our everyday life. And so we thought it would be fun
Yeah.
to do an episode that's all about ways to integrate magic into your everyday life that's very like practical and
Yeah.
uh and like part of like I guess what I mean by like when I think about practical magic, I think of like the purpose of the magic is also practical, right?
Mhm.
So it's not
Yeah.
like big, huge like spirit work or like journeying or astral travel. It's like I want
Yeah.
my home to be clean, protected, and safe.
Yeah. And I think it's also like the barrier to entry sometimes for magic or witchcraft or whatever we're talking, what are we talking about? Whatever we're talking about can sometimes feel a little high and a little like
Yeah.
costly. Like buying tarot cards, like it's not nothing. Like
Yeah. I mean,
if you
at
buy it,
least $25 for like
yeah,
Rider-Waite-Smith, and they can get up to
yeah.
like $60 for
I've
nice
seen
Oracle decks.
I've seen some that are really expensive. So if you don't want to spend that money, it's likely that you have a lot of these things around your house.
Yeah.
So you don't need to buy crystals, you don't need to buy altar cloths, you don't need to buy any like you probably need to buy like a lemon or some tea or something like that. It's very
Yeah.
easy
And it's
to do
often
those
stuff you
things.
already have like in your
Yes.
house. It's a big part of practical magic.
Yeah, and I think it's just really nice. I think the ultimate kind of overarching theme is just mostly going to be doing things with intentionality.
Yeah.
Is doing things not because it's like oh I'm cleaning the house or oh I'm getting dressed like whatever. It's like really thinking about the way that you're doing things and why you're doing them and
Mhm.
like the energy that you want to bring. And it sounds very woo woo. It's really not. It's like
Yeah.
not. I think it's like a lot of it draws on the work that I do, which is in mental health. And when you just do things automatically, you just do them, but it
Yeah.
really feeds your like soul and your energy and your
Yeah.
ability to like and your mood.
And I
Um,
also think
yeah.
when I was just talking to someone about how like my personal um philosophy with all of the like with magic and witchcraft is that I think that everything we do is I think the true magic comes from thought. I think thought is what
Yes.
is the force behind magic. And so when we think about like manifestation or when we think about like spiritual protection or when we think about
Mhm.
like spiritual clearing or cleansing, like the thing that is magic, like the thing that is going out there and impacting the world and changing your reality is
Yes.
like a form of thought energy in my belief. And like,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of spiritualities believe that like everything is thought and it's
Mhm.
all just a manifestation of thought. And so if you change your thoughts, you change your reality, right? And
Yeah.
so to me, all the tools that we're going to explore and all the things we talk about ways to perform witchcraft or perform magic, to me, it's not like the lemon itself is creating the magic. It's like the thoughts and the intention and the way we like use it as a point of focus is what creates
Mhm.
the magic. And it's a tool to help
Yeah.
us like feel it's like a placebo effect almost. Like it's a tool to create
Yeah.
that like belief in your own magic.
But is it a placebo effect or is it actual magic?
I mean,
It probably
I
is
think it's
magic.
a placebo effect. I feel like it's a placebo effect that it makes you believe in it, but then it's like you're believing in it makes it actual magic. Does that
Yes.
make sense?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think this like ties in really very well with like how I feel about gift giving.
Yeah.
Like that I think maybe we'll make that an episode in itself
Yeah, we ha
later. I think we
you've
have
teased
it.
this in almost every episode we've done because you're
It's
so in
so
love with gift giving. It's adorable. But yeah, we're
I'm
gonna do an episode about it around the
and
holidays.
it's not one of my receptive love languages either. It's my
Yeah.
like demonstrative
Yeah. You love
gift.
giving it. You
I
love gift
love
giving, not
I love
necessarily
gift
gift
giving.
receiving. Yeah.
Yeah. I talk about it all the time. It makes me so happy because it's like I think
Yeah.
it's one of the like most tangible sources of magic
Yeah.
that everybody can relate to and it
Yeah.
makes me really
And
happy.
everyone has access to.
Yeah, and everybody has felt that
Yeah.
too. This isn't just like a weird crochet square. This is grandma's crochet square. Like
Yeah.
and it means more anyway. I'm gonna get ahead
Yeah,
of
you're getting
myself.
ahead of yourself. That's its
But
own
let's,
episode.
yes, it is. But why don't we start with home care? And we definitely talked about a couple of these things in the spring episode because spring is a lot about renewal, about
Yeah.
cleaning, cleansing,
Yeah.
restarting. So we did talk about a lot of these things, but
Yeah.
I think Sarah is definitely more of a practical witch. And has a lot of like really great recipes and
Yes.
practices that we're going to kind of, I think, dive into a little bit more and in a little bit of a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
take it away.
I think my goal with this is to kind of explore both like how do you take what you already have and use it to create witchcraft? Like that's
Hmm.
part of practical magic. And then I
Yeah.
also think a part of practical magic is how do you add magic to what you're already doing,
Yes.
right? So like if
Hmm.
you're already cleaning the house, how do you add magic to that? If you already
Love.
have a shit ton of lemons like me, how do you use lemons for magic, right? So it's like
Yes.
looking at both sides of the equation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I am definitely someone who puts magic into a lot of my like daily practices.
Hmm.
And one place that I feel that the most present, like I think for me, it's the house and the home. I know a
Hmm.
lot of people, I think Kaitlyn, you're one of these people, and like a lot of my friends and mentors, uh, experience practical magic most potently with like dress and clothing and
Yeah.
makeup and hair and like glamour magic, which we're also going to talk about. But yeah, that's less me. Like I'm a dirty hippie. We talked about this. Like I
Oh.
am I mean, I think you could just see it if you watch our YouTube, right? Like Caitlin's always got like the cute hair and the makeup and the colors, and I'm always like, I forgot to brush my hair today, but it's fine. And so I definitely find that I express my practical magic more often in the way I interact with my home. So I wanted to talk about a few of my favorite ways for including magic in my home. So the first is basically whenever I'm cleaning the house is where I bring magic in the most often. And a few ways I like to do that are through the use of brooms, simmer pots, and floor washes. Um, so the broom is such a classic symbol of the witch.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to get at Trader Joe's every like fall, they have these little tiny cinnamon brooms and then these
Mm-hmm.
big, like 3 foot cinnamon brooms.
Beautiful.
I think they're like $3 at most. It's like
We love
classic
Trader
Trader Joe's.
Joe's.
Yeah, classic Trader Joe's pricing. It's so good.
I love.
Yeah. And
I
so I
never
like,
walk out of, sorry, I would
no,
never
go.
walk out of Trader Joe's, no matter how full my cart is. It's never more than like $100.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Cost
It's so good.
prohibitive. We got you.
Especially because I'm always there buying things I don't need. And so it's like, at least it's cheap. At least it's cheap to get these delicious little cookies.
And sorry, I meant not cost prohibitive. We got you. Not, not was the key word there. Anyway.
But yeah, so I love to get those brooms. I like to keep the big one actually sits in front of my front door, like in the corner of my house outside in front of the
Mhm.
door. Traditionally brooms are a symbol of protection in witchcraft, so it kind of like is meant to help keep away negative energy. And then you can also keep like upstairs in my magic room. I have the mini one. Um,
My magic room.
Casual.
Yeah, just we all know. We
I
all have
mean,
a magic room in our house.
its official title is the Mystic Auntie Reading Room.
Yes.
Because it's where I do my like one-on-one readings and whatnot.
Hmm.
But it's also just the magic room.
Yeah.
And or the purple room, I guess I could call it, because it's all purple.
Oh, I love
Mm.
that.
But yeah, so I keep one in the window up there too for the same reason, for protection. But then when I'm cleaning house, what I'll do is I'll get a broom. Like you could just do this with a normal broom, but I like to have, in general, I think it's often good to have specific tools for magic if you can, because
Mhm.
it just doesn't like mix up. It's back to that point of intention, right? Of like if you're using this intentionally to like get it like sweep out negative energy, and then
Yeah.
you're using it just like any other time you sweep your house, it like loses that sacred magical essence. Um,
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of this way that some people wear like their lucky underwear or something, where like,
exactly.
or use their lucky pen or pencil for a test or something.
Yes.
Like being able to create that special intention with a certain tool
Yeah.
is something that a lot of people already do, and it's witchcraft. You're already doing it. Like
You're already a
you're
witch.
already a witch. Like stop
Come on,
faking it.
man.
Come on now.
Well, and I think like, I think it's always a fine balance because I'm very big on like you don't have to have money to be a witch.
Hmm.
And so you don't have to go buy special brooms. But again,
Yeah.
they're like $3 at Trader Joe's. So if that is something that's within your budget, I think they're really great to have the big, tall, like cinnamon broom. And you can open all your windows and like go around room by room and literally sweep. Like I don't touch the floor, so I keep the broom like a couple inches off the floor and like sweep the energy out towards the windows to like refresh
Nice.
the energy. And then to refresh the brooms, I have a little vial of cinnamon oil. So once a year, I only do it once a year, I will like reapply the cinnamon oil to my brooms to kind of like recharge them and
Mm,
continue using them.
love that.
Yeah. So that's one of my favorite practical magic tricks. Another one I always do when I'm cleaning is a simmer pot. I'm
Mm,
obsessed with simmer pots. They're so
I
accessible. Have
know.
you done simmer pots before?
I haven't. I really want to. I also live with my dad, and he already just like tolerates my tarot reading, and he knows that I have a witch podcast. Um, I don't know. It's also just so practical that I think I could just like trick him into being like, yeah, this sucks.
Yeah, because it's like it makes the house smell really good. So
Right.
people will do simmer pots for non-witchy reasons. They'll just do it
Hmm.
to make the house smell good.
Little do
Um,
they know.
little do they know, magic is everywhere.
Martha Stewart, you are a witch. Like,
I mean, she is a home
I
witch.
mean,
Like, let's be honest.
she is a little
That's why
hearth
they put
witch.
her in jail. Not any other reason that
Not
has
because
to
of
do
like
with,
tax
yeah.
evasion and like fraud or
No,
whatever.
because she's too powerful.
Hmm. They had to silence her. God. Oh.
But yeah, a simmer pot is basically just a pot of water that you fill with various plants and herbs, and then you leave on a simmer. So I often do one in the spring with like lemon slices and then whatever other citrus I have. So orange is great, grapefruit is great, lime is great,
Mm-hmm.
but I always feature lemon because lemon's a huge one for me. And then I'll often throw like cinnamon sticks, anise, clove. You can put like flowers in there, chamomile, daisies, anything makes
Mint.
you. Mint is a great one.
Hmm.
Herbs,
Oh,
basil.
eucalyptus, which also is at
Oh,
Trader Joe's. And it's usually in the flower section of any grocery store. They have just like eucalyptus bundles.
so good.
Um, Kind of similar to a simmer pot, but not exactly. A lot of people just hang that dried eucalyptus in their shower because
I do that.
it has a similar effect of like you're heating it up, so actually the eucalyptus oils are being activated, and it's just so, oh
And
God,
from
it's so
like a magical
delicious.
perspective, eucalyptus is really big for cleansing and clearing energy. And
Yeah.
it can also add, often you see clearing and protection in the same
Mm-hmm.
herbs and the same plants because those two things are very linked, right? You clear the
Yep.
energy and then you're also protecting the space by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so you can plan what you put in your simmer pot both like according to the season and like what's available, but also according to what you're trying to call in or remove. So if you're looking for cleansing, you could do like lemon, eucalyptus, citrus, that kind of thing. If
Mm-hmm.
you're saying maybe you wanted to do one for like abundance, right? You could do like mint, basil, cinnamon, and orange would be
Mm-hmm.
delicious smelling. And like those are all
Oh,
abundance herbs,
cinnamon and orange is just
right?
so delicious together. Oh.
And so you can fill the pot with this and then simmer it for like, I mean, I will simmer mine for like 3 to 4 hours. Like,
Oh,
I
nice.
will like have it on the stove all day while I clean, while I cook, while I do whatever I'm doing that day. Um, and it just like fills the room with that smell and thus also fills your home with that energy. So
Oh.
that's such a good one and such a practical one.
I'm already like planning that in my head. I'm like, we have lemons, we have basil,
Yeah.
we have like all the,
It's
yeah.
also like talking about practical witchcraft, a great thing to do if you're like, oh, I have these lemons that have been sitting out forever, and if I don't use them soon, they're gonna go bad. And it's like throw in your
Yeah.
leftover herbs, throw in your lemons, like, use up what's otherwise gonna go in the trash.
Yeah. Or even if you're just like, well, because like lemons get to that like weird, like
Yeah.
squishiness, you're not going to eat the simmer pot. So
Yeah,
might as well just
exactly.
use it. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and what you can do if you're worried about like waste,
Mm-hmm.
some ways to reuse or repurpose the simmer pot is if you strain the water and then dump it into a bath and turn this like get all that
Oh,
energy in a bath as well is one of my favorites. I love looking at your reactions to
I
this. Like,
love a bath.
I mean, we'll
Even
get
just
into
talk.
bath magic. Do we just want to talk about it right now?
I mean, even just talking about the stuff, I'm already just like, oh, I'm like so happy even just thinking
Yeah.
about this. Yeah. Do you want to talk about baths? Or one of the things I was going to talk about was like essential oil use, which kind of has like
Yeah.
a similar.
Well, I
What do you
do
want
want
to
to
do?
say, like one other thing I think you can use the simmer pot water for is a floor wash. So you can
Ooh,
either
yeah.
just use it straight as like water to mop the floors, or you could add a little bit of vinegar to get like a disinfectant going.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another great way to use the water, and then the herbs themselves can just be composted.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's like a huge favorite one. And then floor washes in general, either using simmer pot water, using your own, like you can just add whatever herbs you want to your mop water. I also know people who have put herbs in their what do they call those? Swiffer like refills?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a good
That's like
idea.
practical, like modern witchcraft, right? Like take your Swiffer jet like refill and just shove some herbs in there.
I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that. Oh my God, I'm gonna do that. My dad's gonna be like, what the fuck did you do to our Swiffer wet jet? like magic.
Yeah, yeah. Charlie asks me sometimes, like, why are all of our cleaning supplies brown? I'm like, they have cinnamon in them. Don't worry about it. I also love
Um,
for a floor wash an older, like more traditional form from European traditions is
mhm.
herb strewing. So you take the herbs of whatever energy you want. So one that I like to do is pine because pine is both
Ooh,
like a
yeah.
disinfectant and it's protection.
And smells
And
fucking
it smells
great.
fucking so good. And so you just
Oh,
strew it all over your house. So, you just take it and throw it like you would flowers at a wedding, like all over the floor. And you do, and so you got to be like mindful if you have pets, what you're
yeah,
using, whether or not it's toxic. Like, and that's true with all of this,
yeah.
Be friendly to your pets, look up if it could be harmful to them.
Mhm.
But you leave it usually like overnight. You strew the herbs and then you go to bed, and then in the morning you sweep all the herbs out the door. And it's supposed to both
Oh,
like bring in the energy of those herbs and also those herbs like collect or absorb any of the unwanted energy. And so when you sweep it out, you're literally removing it from the house.
I love that. I couldn't stop thinking about the phrase witch confetti when you
Oh
were
my
saying that.
God. It is witch confetti.
It kind of it. Oh my God. If are we starting a cleaning brand of just witch confetti and we're like, spread this all over your floors. Pet safe witch confetti.
Oh my God, pet safe witch confetti, our new business.
We have a lot of business ideas
We
on
do.
this
We
freaking show. I
do.
love it.
You're an Aries. It's what you were built for.
Well, it's more about the, oh my God, that's such a cool idea, and then never really doing anything about it. That's very
Which
Aries
is
of me.
Aries, yeah. What about this
um,
business? What about that business? So those are
um,
my like top three. We'll get into other stuff I like to do, but like brooms,
mhm,
simmer pots, and floor washes all like
yeah.
really work together. You can use them while you're cleaning house. I like them because they're all like low lift
Mhm.
and can be integrated into like a day of like when you're cleaning house anyway, right? It's not like you have to
Yeah.
make time to do your simmer pots. Like throw it on the stove and then go clean your kitchen.
Set it and forget it. That's also a
Yes,
favorite.
I love
Yes.
that. Yeah.
hmm Kind of on a similar note to simmer pots, like one of my favorite things to do, which is like a very similar thing, and it's a thing that not only we use in mental health, but just people are very familiar with generally,
hmm
is using essential oils.
hmm
Which do not get this twisted. Sarah and I are not essential oil hippies. Like,
This is when they find out that this was all a ploy to promote our like what is doTERRA MLM.
yes, this is not an MLM. But like
Allegedly.
alleged.
I don't know how doTERRA is
Oh,
actually.
I thought you were saying allegedly we're not an MLM.
No, allegedly doTERRA is not an is maybe perhaps an LMLM.
But you didn't hear it from us.
No.
But despite the hype, like there is a lot of like weirdness about essential oils. No, they can't cure cancer. You're hearing it from a medical professional. It cannot cure cancer. It cannot cure a lot of things. Don't drink it, don't eat it, don't lick it.
Oh.
But aromatherapy is like a really powerful thing. But lots of our memories are so strongly connected to scents.
Mm.
So they really can like change your mood. They really can help
Yeah.
set a mood. Sorry, not change your mood. They can set a mood
Yeah.
around, which is what the simmer pods and floor washes and everything do.
Yeah.
But if in terms of just like kind of bringing out practical magic just through scents,
Yeah.
um, I think that there's like the really famous ones like peppermint, eucalyptus, lavender, things like that.
Classics,
So
yeah.
like
Sweet orange is
lavender,
another great one.
oh, sweet orange and like mandarin
Oh,
are
yeah.
are so delicious.
Well, because they're meant to
Um,
be like uplifting and like put you in a
yeah,
happy, good mood. And yeah.
yeah. So like all the citrus essential oils. I mean, this is a little bit redundant, but all the citrus essential oils are for like awakening, energizing. Like
hmm
they're very like happy, bright
Yeah.
smells. So that's why like lemon simmer pot works so well. But yeah, like a sweet orange oil can be really
Yeah.
helpful for like I don't know, spraying like your your yoga mat or your exercise equipment or something if you're
Yeah.
wanting to
Or like
get
your
that
pillow, right? Lavender before bed.
lavender a lavender pillow or you can get little like I usually try to go for the edible lavender so it's just feels a little bit more safe for me, like cooking lavender.
Oh, yes, I
Um,
understand. Okay.
yeah, yeah, not just like
I was
talking about
imagining like a
handfuls of
little
those.
lavender gummy that you were just like taking before bed, like to help you sleep. I was like, wow, I had no idea.
No, but you can incorporate lavender in tea. I love making lavender icing,
Mm,
stuff like that. But yeah, so having lavender little like sachets that you can
yeah.
fill with
Or
also
like
like
this
rice.
spray.
Yeah, but if you get like a sock that you're
Yeah.
not using anymore, that's lots, it's lover. You can fill it with uncooked rice and lavender and then tie it up, throw it in a microwave, and it's really great for like
Oh,
a period cramp pad,
yeah. I
or
love
putting it under your
that.
pillow because it's like warm, and then the lavender smell is really, really helpful for encouraging sleep
Yeah.
and calm. Another one kind of that's like a little calming, but in a different way, is eucalyptus.
Yeah.
It more just feels like spa calming,
Yeah,
where
like
you're
a
like,
deep breath. Like take a deep
yeah,
breath, let it all go. Yeah.
and
Rejuvenating.
rejuvenating, like cleansing. Like I
Yeah.
love the smell of eucalyptus.
Put it in the shower. I every year
Mhm.
I buy eucalyptus at the first farmer's market and then at the last farmer's market. So like I put it in
I
my shower
love
on the
that.
first farmer's market and then I refresh it at the last farmer's market because being a place where we have snow, farmer's markets end in October.
Yeah.
And so like I get one more bunch to hold me through the winter. It's
Hmm.
such a good practice.
It's so nice. And like, I don't know. I I feel like a lot of people have a lot of doubts about these things, but look, if it works, it works. Like that's the
Also,
whole
like
thing.
that's not our job, that's not our podcast. Like
No,
we're talking about the witchcraft that works for us. Like if you have doubts, go do your own like research.
our
That's
job
not
is
what
what
we're here
if?
for.
What
Yeah.
if? Another one that's great for like clearing, and it says often protection, but it also just makes me feel like cleansed. Tea tree oil. It's very like involved.
That's interesting. I've never thought of that one for protection. I think of it as like a deep, like a scrub.
Like cleaning, healing.
Yeah.
Tea tree is in so many medical applications too,
Yeah.
of like tea tree and eucalyptus being able to like freaking blast your sinuses back to the dark ages. Like oh my, it,
Yes.
it just feels like it's very like opening up.
Yeah.
Um, Peppermint is my favorite
Yeah.
actually. One of my favorite cleaning products is using like distilled alcohol, or if you don't have that,
Mm.
the vodka that's in your
Yeah.
pantry or freezer, putting that in with peppermint and spraying something down will make it smell like as clean as a hotel. And it's
Oh,
so freaking easy. I actually
that's so
learned this
nice.
from the yoga studio that I used to volunteer at.
Oh, clever.
They would
Spray
spray,
their equipment.
they
Yeah.
would wash it down and then they would spray it with peppermint oil. I was like, this feels so luxurious. And this is literally like
Yeah.
the most minimum effort. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and then
And
what
so I
else did
feel
I?
like I feel
Yeah.
like the brooms, the simmer pots, the floor washes are really great for like clearing whole spaces,
Yes.
whereas the essential oils are really good for like isolated items as well as for the self, right? Like put a little bit on
Yeah.
your
The little
wrist,
like
you know.
oil.
Yeah, or I
Yeah.
used to work for a woman who was going through cancer or chemo treatment and
Hmm.
was had a really sensitive sense of smell. And so she had this little necklace that had like cloth in it that you
Mm,
could put essential oil on so you could
I
smell it when
love
like
that.
so that's another way you could like have a little essential oil necklace that like whenever you're feeling low energy or like kind of foggy, like you pick up the sweet orange or the peppermint and it like brings you back to life, you know?
Yeah. And a little trick from a nurse.
Okay.
One of the things that we always have are alcohol pads,
Yeah.
sanitizing pads. Now they're pretty ubiquitous since COVID, or like having hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
If you are ever nauseous, smell an alcohol wipe.
Huh.
It really helps. It doesn't smell great. It hurts your brain and your eyeballs. But what for whatever reason, for pregnant patients, for patients just experiencing any level of nausea, we just have them do a quick sniff of alcohol pad, and it something about it like really
That's
refocuses.
fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's what we were talking about in our own private lives, which is like that recentering and refocusing
Yes.
in a really strong sensory point.
Yeah.
So yeah, being able to that is a huge
Oh, that's so cool.
tip from a nurse. Other tip too, if you're having problems with like gagging or swallowing, um, wink. Um, Salt. You can like sprinkle a little salt in the back of your throat. It kind of does a similar thing where your like taste buds are kind of overwhelmed with, oh my god, that's really salty, and so it kind of overwhelms whatever your throat is
That's
doing.
fascinating. This
Yeah.
is practical magic, baby.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I love it.
Witches love salt.
Witches
Everyone
love salt. Okay, that's
we
another
love
shirt.
witches love salt.
And then just like a little like bowl of salt with like
Or
little
like a little
pieces of
Morton salt girl, but with a witch hat on it.
I want this.
Yeah, I'll make it. I'll draw it up in my
Okay, okay,
little.
okay.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Um.
Okay,
What
so
else?
that's
What else?
essential oils. I feel like on a similar vein, like tea is another way, like as we're talking about, I feel like all of these that we're talking about are like different ways to use herbs and not just herbs but like food, right,
Mm-hmm.
like plants of all types to create
Yeah.
magic. And
Yeah.
so we talked about like cleaning the home, we talked about cleaning like little smaller spaces or like
Mm-hmm.
using it to bring your own moods or energies. Tea is such a potent one.
Yeah.
I every single morning say a prayer over my tea, and it's different. It's different every day. It's not the same words. It's whatever I need that day. But it'll also
Yeah.
often be an example, might be like if I'm feeling really anxious one morning, I might say, like, as I drink this tea, may I feel grounded, may I feel
Mm-hmm.
clear, and may this tea give me the energy to face whatever I have coming for me today.
I
Um,
love that.
and then I always blow across the
Oh,
surface of the tea to like infuse it with my intention.
cute. And also blow that steam to like whoever's in charge of
Yeah,
things.
up to the
Yeah.
spirits. Yeah.
Yeah. Who
So
who's in
that's
charge?
like it, there. Of course, we can talk a little bit about like different types of tea for different purposes, but
Mm-hmm.
also I just think like the way you make your morning tea or coffee, it can be a really, really simple way to add magic into your life, right? So like say a
Yeah.
prayer over your morning cup, or like what I always do is like first cup of coffee put on the altar for the ancestors, or pour it
Mm-hmm.
out to the earth as like an offering to the earth, you know? And so
Mm-hmm.
like engaging with these simple things that you do every day anyway and turning them into a magical practice, I think is like the
Yeah.
epitome of practical magic. And again,
I
like we
should
didn't
do
mention
that.
this earlier, but we mean the concept practical magic, not the movie.
Very important distinction. I think everyone was confused up until this minute.
Everyone's like, so when are they going to talk about what I do if I have a dead body in my trunk?
I watch a lot of true crime, so hit me up.
Maybe
No,
we
don't hit
will.
me up.
No,
That's too
don't. That's a
much.
joke.
No.
That's allegedly, allegedly.
Allegedly, this is for comedy and entertainment purposes. Please don't contact me.
We know
Contact the
nothing about dead
authorities.
bodies.
Well, I do,
Well,
but
I guess you have probably touched dead bodies in your line of work, but
that was my first job.
really?
My first job was cleaning cadavers.
I didn't know that. We've never talked about that. How did I not know that?
Yeah, that's my favorite. Love. Side note, yeah,
Like two truths and a lie.
yeah, that's my first. Or like, it's like, oh yeah, what was your first job? Like getting to know you questions. I
Yeah.
actually just had to fill one of those out, and it was like, what was your first job? And I had to say like surgical cadaver cleaning support, like surgical support by prepping cadavers.
Fascinating.
Yeah, this is not for the faint of heart. So like skip forward like 15 seconds. But my first job on my first day, they're like, we need to make sure that you are like cool with handling dead bodies. And I was like, yeah, I think I am. I was like 19. Like this was my
Yeah.
first like real like not
Wow.
babysitting job. And so they handed me a package in the sink and I opened it and it was a head. That was my first day of my first job.
Very worthwhile tangent, Caitlin. My God, I had no idea.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so maybe if you are trying to get rid of a dead body, Caitlin is the one to talk to.
yeah, they're like, we need to make sure that you don't like faint. Are you okay? Everybody was like kind of standing by with like hands at their like waist, kind of like,
Ready to,
yeah,
I'm sure they've
we're
had to like
ready.
catch people before. Yeah.
Oh, so many people. Yeah. So that was my yeah, fun fact. That was my first job, and I'm still here, and
Anyway,
I'm still in
so
medicine.
say prayers over your tea and don't
Yes.
don't open dead bodies from? I don't know. I don't know what the moral
It worked
is.
out for me,
It's
so
true.
there's no moral.
Call
It's just
Kaitlyn if
weird.
you have a dead body in your trunk.
Yeah, honestly, and I'll call the cops. I'll call the cops.
Um,
Okay, wait, getting back to teas though,
yes.
similar to essential oils, we all know the kind of like general ones like chamomile is for going to sleep and
Hmm.
like green tea is for energy. Sorry, I'm saying those like
You
it's like
are like,
not
what?
true.
Do you
It
have
is.
something against chamomile and green tea? I use both
I love both
regularly.
of them too. I don't know why I'm doing this.
No,
No,
I
I
get
think
it
it's
because
just
it has that like
everyone
goopification,
knows.
right? Like it's like, yeah, yeah, we've seen it, we've heard it, we know.
Everyone knows, but it is actually like very true. Green tea does have a lot of antioxidant properties.
Mm,
It is really high in caffeine, but doesn't give you as much of a crash as other ones
yeah,
do. So if you do need like a little kick in your day, a little energy, a little
yeah.
spring in your step, green tea is great. There's a load. I'm from Asia. There's not just green tea. There's a
Yeah, I was gonna
million
say,
different types of green tea for like new
this green
energies.
tea is like black.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, for sorry, you like lagged for me, so I was talking over you rudely. But for new energies, there's like younger green tea, like spring green tea that's harvested a little
Oh,
bit earlier in the maturation cycle. So that's like for great like new energy, like
they have new beginnings,
new
first day on
beginning.
a new job. Like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's kind of more
God.
mature green teas when you're kind of needing energy to do um yeah, like to do something a little
It's
bit
making
like
me think
harder,
like
deeper.
finish like I just finished editing my book, right? It's like to finish the thing you've started, right? To like get the
Yes.
energy to keep pushing through. I
Yes.
love that.
Um, and then for relaxation, of course, chamomile tea is
Yeah.
a beautiful, beautiful tea. My doctor did tell me, and she was trained in like Chinese medicine.
Mm.
For chamomile tea, if you are making it to relax and calm yourself, put a lid on top of it because
Mm.
chamomile tea releases oils and vapors that are really, really, really helpful to what you're doing. If you just have it in like an open cup, you're kind of letting most of the medicine out.
Oh, so like smell the steam almost.
Smell
Like,
the steam and trap everything
I
that's like
love
vaporizing
that.
off of the tea, trap it in.
I
And it's
love
supposed to be
that.
great for like migraines as well. So to like make
Huh.
sure all that good shit isn't being like
Lost to the ether.
lost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite bedtime
Yeah.
blend is like I mix chamomile, rose petal, and lavender. Maybe a
Rose,
little bit
that's
of
so.
honey in there. Like that's my
Oh,
real like settle in for the night. Yeah.
oh.
It's so calming.
I'm gonna ask Jesse to bring some of his like family's honey when he comes and
I
visits.
would love that.
Yeah, so I can give you some. Yeah, so Pet Rose is like such a beautiful one for I always just feel like of course Rose is like really romantic, but I don't know why rose tea always makes me feel really romantic for like myself,
Yeah,
you
it
know?
is. I mean, it's true. Like
It's like
rose is an herb of
self-love.
self-love for sure.
Yeah, rose petals are yeah, so great for self-love, so great for just kind of like a little like doesn't have to be like actually sexy romantic, but like romantic for just like loving
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Um, Peppermint is a great tea for nausea.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if
so if
you are looking at a dead body,
I know most of my offerings are very much nausea based.
yeah, you work in the
Um,
medical field.
yeah, so instead of like giving someone like Dramamine or something, peppermint tea really, really helps settle stomachs. It really
Yeah.
helps bring down nausea.
Ginger is
And
great for settling stomachs as
ginger.
well. Yeah.
Ginger is so great. I actually keep ginger chews in my car in case anyone gets
Mhm.
car sick.
Yeah.
And then
Which
red
like
clover.
that is
Yes.
practical magic, right? Is just like having ginger ready on
Yes.
hand for when someone has a tummy ache.
Yes. And then ginger is also at every like these ginger chews, they're called gingins, I think.
Okay,
The
I think I
ones
can
with the little
picture them. Yeah, with the little ginger man, like
yes, I was just
Stay
about to
Puft
say the little
Marshmallow Ginger
yes,
Edition.
the little ginger mascot. Yeah, so great. Hey. Ginger is so great for it is also helpful for like when you're feeling sick. It's really great for nausea
Hmm.
and gingins, the little chews.
Yeah,
You can get them at any grocery store and they're like pretty cheap.
incredible.
Yeah, my concoction for when I'm feeling sick is definitely if it's during the day, it is green tea with honey and vinegar, echinacea drops, which is
Mm,
echinacea is a flower,
I
and
love
you can
echinacea.
it's so nice that and like ginger juice.
Nice.
That
Okay.
is my like
Yeah. Cure all.
potion. That is my potion for feeling sick. It gives you energy, it gives you a little bit of healing, it gives your throat soothing. Like it really covers all the bases. So that's
Incredible.
my like my little concoction for feeling not so
Oh,
hot.
that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is a good blend into kitchen witchery, as we're
Yeah,
talking about like teas, the
kitchen
kitchen.
witchery.
I mean, again, that's its whole own story. But I
Yeah,
think another really easy way to bring practical magic in is through the kitchen.
yeah.
Um, when you're cooking, like, and this can be both like again the foods you're using, right? So like adding, I think about this with my if I'm making oatmeal in the morning, I'll often
Mm-hmm.
spice it with different so like spices based on the energy that I'm wanting and like what my body needs, not just like flavor wise, but what it needs. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do I need to like settle down? Do I need to wake up? Do I want to bring in like more activation, more passion, or do I want to bring in more like grounded, like calming?
Yeah.
Um, so you can always like mix different spices or herbs into the food you make for that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It's also like a little bit like a little subtle way to be a little like witchy manipulation, like making food for the
Oh,
family, making something, like, let me just add a
Thanksgiving
little
is
bit
about to
of
get wild. I'm
like
putting chamomile on all of the
some people put
turkey.
booze in the punch or like drug the brownies. I'm putting herbs in the bread.
I'm chamomiling all of the turkey. Like everyone chill. Everyone chill the fuck out. We're all
And it is like when I make it because I do a lot of like potlucks and group dinner
hmm
thing or like yeah like dinner parties and I will often say spells over my food of like may this
Oh.
like may everyone who eats this and I'm benevolent with it, I'm never using it in a manipulative way, but it's like may anyone who eat this feel peace, comfort, and joy,
hmm
and like may this bring lightness to those who partake of it or things like
I
that.
love
So
that.
you can consider what ingredients you're adding. You can also use like your words to add spells. I also
Oh.
like to like mix sigils into. So when I'm stirring something, I'll stir it in the shape of different like sigils or symbols to bring in different energy to the food I'm making.
That's amazing. Also, sorry, just on the point of making food for other people or gifting food to other people, one, always I'm going to do the safety thing of make sure no one's allergic to anything, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
yeah, yeah.
Right. We know that. But also, we here on Empress and the Fool are very benevolent witches. We want to do good for everyone as well as ourselves because we are a part of everyone. We do not condone doing these things for ill intent.
Hmm.
There are witches that do that as well. Like
I don't
that, I
know if
think.
I fully agree. I love that for you, but I'm not totally against like if the circumstances are such like if you are a disempowered person in a system of power, I think it's okay to use
Oh,
witchcraft to reclaim your power. I think it's okay to
that's
curse
different.
a oppressive boss or like, I think
Yes,
it's okay to protect yourself through like domination magic and like
that's
uh
hot.
we will do a whole episode about domination magic at some point, but like
Yes.
I don't know, I think there are circumstances where I don't think the concept of like black magic and white magic is real or as simple as that.
hmm
I think it's but I agree what you're saying of like on the flip side, like if my ex is dating someone, I'm not gonna make
That's
her
tough.
cookies that have like fuck you energy in them. Like that's none of my business.
Right. I think hexing the man is great. I'm
Capital
all
or
for that.
lowercase.
Capital
Either
or
one.
lowercase. The man, sure. But I guess I think maybe my warning is whatever you put out will inevitably come back to you. So
Mm.
like just be really careful about whatever you're putting out is very likely to come back to you. So if
Mm.
you're putting out like good vibes and good shit, you kind of don't really have to worry. If you're kind of delving into that other side of things, just be
Yeah.
really careful. Just be
Yeah.
really make sure it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Make
I think there's a very big difference. And I truly believe it's a personal choice. I don't think it's
absolutely
but I think like just like being a generally good person, like there's the difference between like fighting for your freedom, fighting against systems of power, like pushing
love that.
back against those who are trying to take your power versus being the aggressor and going out
Yes.
there and like causing harm to folks who for no reason.
Or for no like greater purpose
Yeah,
other
yeah, I
than,
shouldn't say because you'll
yeah,
have your reasons, right? But like
yeah,
for like pettiness or for like just the sake of
yeah.
causing harm to people you don't like versus like for protection or for freedom or liberation.
Yeah, so give fuck you cookies to the man, not fuck you cookies to Bethany who looked at you weird.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. I think that's a good distinction.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And also, and again, that's just our opinion. Like you're a free agent. You do magic however you want to do magic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. My only thing is, yeah, just like it'll come around. And I think that's the
Yeah.
nature of magic too.
Yeah.
The
Well, I think
wheel of
it's the
fortune.
nature of life that we're all
Yeah.
connected. Everything's connected, everyone, everything. And so like try to be a good person because you're part of that same you're all
Mm-hmm.
like if you're mean to your neighbor, you're mean to yourself because you are your neighbor. Like it's all one.
Oh, cute. I love that. I need to remember that more often. My partner always says like, "Be nice to my girlfriend." I'm like,
Aw.
oh, yeah. Or like
Yeah.
I'll say to my patients like, "Hey, don't be mean to my patient. That's my patient." And I'll be talking about them and they'll mostly be confused because I'm kind of confusing. But yeah.
But yeah,
All
so
right. But
so
yeah,
back
kitchen
to
magic.
what I was saying, I do love to like mix sigils into what I'm doing, or like if you're decorating cookies, right, you could put little like sigils on top of them, or like the signs of different planets or zodiac symbols that you want to call in. I do the same when I'm making bread. I will like when I cut the bread, I will like cut different symbols into it.
Like before you
Um,
bake it, like so it
yeah,
has the like, oh,
yeah, so when you bake bread, you like slice the top of it, and so I'll slice a
mm-hmm.
certain design in the top of it. Also, just like bread
Cute.
itself is magic. Like that has been such a it's so real though. Like
Yes, it
kneading
is.
bread, like getting your hands in there, like it's how I connect to my ancestors like the most often is through making bread.
Oh,
Like and that's my last thing with like kitchen magic is it's a great space to communicate with your guides, with your ancestors, which we'll do a whole episode about. But
yeah.
um just like chatting with them about like and I am a better cook when I talk to my guides. Like they will be like, put
Huh.
this in there, do this. And I'm like, oh, are you sure? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, fine.
I heard you.
And then
I
I'm like,
feel
this is gonna be weird. And then it's not weird, it's delicious. Uh,
I always feel that connection when I'm washing rice because that's
I
like very
love
connected to my
that.
grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah, always. Okay, also this is literal practical and it's magic, but it doesn't even need to be magic if you're not a magical person. Wash your freaking rice.
It
Wash your rice.
makes it so much better.
It's so much better. Wash it at least 3 times. Why
Yeah.
did I do two? Three, I can count.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think that that's another one is like kitchen is a great space when you're cooking, talking
Mm-hmm.
to yourself, talking to your guides, talking spells over the food, mixing things in
Yeah.
that have magical properties.
Yeah. And even using like magical, like using kitchenware with intention as well. Like using
Mm,
things that have been passed down or using a bowl that was gifted to you
yeah.
or like I always put my coffee in this mug because it has a little red heart on it, like and this is connected to a memory that's really strong for me. So it kind of
Yeah.
infuses my coffee with a little magic. There's like different ways to do it too.
I love that. Yeah, like the
Yeah.
actual materials you use as a form
Yeah.
of magic.
Yeah. Like your grandma's like pot for like making
Yeah,
stews
I
or
have
something
my
like that.
old grandma's cast irons for all
I
my, or my
knew.
great grandma's cast irons, and I use them all the time for baking bread and stuff. It's great.
Yeah. Still things like in the home before we get to talk about one of
The
my favorites, which is
Baori.
like glamour magic. It's actually just like spring cleaning stuff, which we definitely did talk about before. So listen to our spring magic episode that we've said a million times. Um, but I think one of the ways that you can incorporate magic into your stuff and into
Mhm.
organization, which I am personally really, really bad at. Um,
The container store will help.
well, it's trying. It's doing its best. But like even the way that you arrange your books, you can have magic
Yeah.
in that. Like I have a friend who has all of her books arranged by color. So it's like one
I
big
so
rainbow.
appreciate that for folks. I could never.
But like just little things like that, like being able to arrange things in your house or put things in certain places so that
Yeah.
you see them more often if they make you happy, or if you want to arrange your books by height or by author or by, like there's little ways that you can intentionally
Yeah.
put these things together. You don't have to. You don't,
Yeah.
no one's making you. You're an adult, maybe. And but you can make your books stack any way you like. Like there's just
Yeah.
different ways that you can intentionally organize things. Like even your drawers, like, hey, these are my shirts for bedtime. These are my shirts for what like this is my little calm, like my little calm shirt pile. This is my
Yeah.
little like happy going out with
You
friends
could
shirt
even put
pile.
little sachets of like herbs in there of like, okay, I put
Yeah.
my lavender herbs with my calm shirts and like, my little
Yeah.
cinnamon with my activation, like active energy go out
Yeah.
shirts.
Or rose petals with your lingerie. Like,
Ooh, love that.
right? So there's just like little ways that you can, and again, it's all about intentionality. It's like,
Yes.
it's, Marie Kondo or Maria Kondo, who wrote that book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up.
Uh,
That's so much witchcraft in
yeah.
there too. There's
Yeah.
so much. It's like, hold this, and does it bring you joy? If it doesn't, toss it.
Yeah.
I
And I feel
mean,
like if you get really into that, you can go full deep dive into like feng shui and like fully
yeah,
make your whole home energetically aligned if that's something that speaks to you.
yeah. I mean, like that whole thing of like, when you were a kid, and you're like, I'm gonna rearrange my
Oh my
room. I
God.
feel like every kid did that.
It is its own form of magic, right? Like if like
Yeah,
that's something I do when I feel like this house, like the energy in the home feels really stale and like everything just feels kind of
yeah,
meh, I will like clean house, rearrange, redecorate. Like things like that are such a good way to just like shift the energy in a space.
yeah. Practical magic. You did it when you were a kid, and you didn't even freaking know.
I also feel like the way we're having this conversation is such a lesson in the way practical magic works as well, where it's like we didn't sit down, like some of these ideas we are talking about, like the rose petals with the
Yeah,
lingerie, we didn't write that down. That just like intuitively came to us. And so like use your
yeah,
intuition as well and like
yeah,
play with it as you go of like, oh, this feels right. I'm gonna do this. It doesn't have to be written down for it to be real. Like practical magic is something that you figure out as you go and you build a relationship with your space and your form of magic.
yeah. And if like lavender is not a calming scent for you, go sniff a bunch of essential oils and figure out what does work for
Yeah.
you. There is no rule. Like there's a lot of things online and in different like resource guides that will tell you what to use for different things. Ultimately, it's
You do
kind of all
you.
made up.
It is. It's like I said, it's all just a tool for thoughts. Like you do
Yeah,
you do what makes your thoughts feel aligned with the energy you're trying to cultivate, and that's
yeah.
magic.
Yeah, like for me, my like jasmine and sweet orange oil makes me feel like
Mm.
my space is like cleaner and more like me, even
Yeah.
though that's not like a traditional like
Yeah,
cleaning
yeah.
thing. Yeah, like there's no way to organize your room. Like Maria Kondo, she has a lot of great ideas, but maybe that's not the way you do things.
Yeah.
Like as long as you're doing these things with intentions,
Yeah.
is really that's where the magic is. Yeah.
Yeah. I love
Um,
that. I think
yeah.
we've talked a lot about like house and home. I think as we move into like the self and moving beyond the home, I think one other way you can integrate practical magic into your life really easily is just like think about the what you carry with you and where you go. So for example, I
Oh,
keep like a bell and a little selenite wand in my car so that if I'm out and
you witch.
about, I I know, like ginger chews for Kaitlyn, a bell and a selenite for Sarah. So
Yeah,
on
ginger
brand.
chews and a labradorite. That's what I
There you
always have
go.
with me. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I think, if I'm like out and about and just have like a weird day or like have a weird encounter or like feel like I've
Mhm.
picked something up that doesn't belong to me, as soon as I
Mhm.
get into my car, I can ring the bell and like wipe my energy with the selenite. And so like if
Yeah.
it could be in your car, it could be in a purse. I also like to charm my jewelry. So like you can say spells
Oh.
over your jewelry, you could leave them at the altar. But if you have something that you wear like every day or something you carry with you every day, that's a really great way to add practical magic into your life is like, how are you
Hmm.
charming those things? What are you doing with them to make them feel more magical? So, like,
Yeah.
my diamond necklace that I wear every day is the diamonds from my great grandma's wedding ring. So
Mm.
do a little spell every once in a while when I feel like it's lost its oomph, where I put it back on my ancestral altar. And then when I put it back on, I say, like, as I wear this necklace, like, may my ancestors be present and may I hear them with clarity.
That's so sweet.
Right?
I
Just like
really love that.
simple little spells like that. Or if you have like a necklace that you wear every day, like we both have an amethyst necklace, right? So I can say, like, well, this this to help my intuition come through with ease.
Hmm. And we actually just talked about how creepily similar our necklaces are
We
just
both have
before
a
we started
diamond
recording.
and an amethyst.
Yeah, and now we have literal matching pendants for the Empress and the Fool,
Yeah.
which I love. But I actually carry, for any of you who have lost a loved one, whether that be a
Mm.
human or a pet, I actually got all of my family these little urn necklaces. So it's this little like circle one here. I got one for my mom and my dad, and for me for a Christmas present after we lost our dog, and we had a little ritual where we all put ashes into the urn necklace together. And so I keep a little part of my dog with me everywhere I
I love
go,
that.
and it makes me really happy and makes me sad. It's very bittersweet, but I feel like he's always with me and he's always my
Yeah.
dog. Um, and it actually like really weirdly, I thought I would be like just bawling, crying while putting like my pet's ashes into this necklace, which sounds really macabre, but like whatever. My first job was dealing with the dead bodies, so
Also, like witches aren't afraid of death. Come on.
no. But I found that while my family and I were doing this together and we sat down and made a moment of it, we were giggling and
Yeah.
laughing, and
It's
it was so
cathartic.
it was so unexpected for me, which I thought I was gonna be like like not being able to see
Yeah,
anything because I was
yeah.
crying. I was laughing at like, hey, remember that one time where we lost my dog in the Alps? Like, do you remember that
Mm.
one time? So it's also
Yeah.
just nice to like have a thing that will trigger those memories for me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think like considering, yeah, what you're carrying with you and what energy it brings into your life, and if that's something, making it intentional, I think
Yeah.
protection is another common one. A lot of people wear jewelry for protection. You can also carry like hematite in your pocket. Is something I do. I have a little hematite stone that's great for, it's like a dark black reflective stone, so it like
Is that the
reflects
one?
negative energy.
Oh, there isn't there one too that like absorbs negative energy?
Probably.
Okay, never. I don't.
I'm
Hematite. That
not
makes
like a
sense.
crystal witch. I don't know this stuff with, if it's not one I don't use, I don't know. I like
Oh, that's fair.
hematite because it reflects it, so it's like it doesn't even come near me. It like bounces back to whoever's putting it at me. If someone's giving me fuck you cookies, they're the ones getting the fuck you energy. It doesn't even touch me.
That's why I said be careful of what you put out
Yeah.
because it very well could
Yeah.
have hematite energy and come back at you.
And like evil eyes are great. Another very common traditional
I
one,
think
like
that's what I was
having,
thinking of.
yeah, yeah, that's supposed to like the blue circle with all the
Hmm.
other colors of blue inside of it. That's
Yeah, it's
supposed to like,
blue, white, a light blue, and then black.
yeah, and it's supposed to
Hmm.
like turn the evil eye away from you. It's ironic because it's called an evil eye, but it's actually meant to like keep the evil eye from landing on you. So just
I've actually,
talismans like that. Oh, go ahead.
yeah. No, I was gonna say I've actually heard the evil eye actually like absorbs and deflects that negative energy.
Cool.
And when your evil eye, and people have said like this really weird,
Mm-hmm.
and it comes with crystals as well, with intention, but specifically with those evil eye pendants, and usually they're like glass,
Mm-hmm.
that they will break
Yeah.
unexpectedly, absolutely randomly. And it's like, well, we've had enough negative energy for
Yeah.
existing now. So there's different ways that you can just,
I had
yeah,
that happen with a selenite where it just broke out of the blue, and it was just like, oh, this is done. Like it's done its job. It's done what it can do, and I need to get a new one. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's practical as fuck.
Yeah. So yeah, I think those are great. I
Yeah.
think also you can hang stuff on the off like the mirror on your car to do the same thing, like a necklace. Or
I
like,
do.
if you wear a shawl, or like I know I have a yoga teacher who has like a sacred shawl that they've like charmed that anytime they're doing meditation, so that if they're traveling, they don't need their like altar, their pillow, their everything. They can just wrap that shawl around them and it helps them like sink into that space. So just charming the things you carry with you, charming, like having tools available to you in your purse, in your car, in your pocket, so that like as needed, you can
Yeah.
access those things like throughout your day.
Gonna hear the most me thing. I have a faceted crystal hanging from my rear view mirror, and so whenever light comes in, there's just a rainbow disco party in my car, which
I
is like
love that.
makes me really happy.
That's adorable.
Yeah, it's very me.
So that's
Yeah,
everything you carry on you, you put on you, but let's also talk about like actually you, your body. Like how can you
yeah,
integrate practical magic into the way you relate to your body?
yeah. So. you are also a thing that can be adorned through magic, through makeup, through magic as well, through makeup,
Through the
through
magic of makeup.
wardrobe, through self-care. So like kind of starting off with, you can do a lot of practical magic with like intentionality in doing like face wash or
Hmm.
being in the shower, being in the
Hmm.
bath, like the way that you actually take care of your body. The more intentional you are with it, the more likely it is to
Yeah.
really work. When you're like, oh, fuck it, like just use this cleanser. When you're kind of
Yeah.
like, I'll use this cleanser too. Sometimes I'm like, I'm going to wash my face because there's a bunch of gross
Yeah.
like energy from whatever stress I had in my day, and being able to like use that as a tool of I'm actually washing my face, and that's helpful to me.
Yeah.
But it's also very helpful to like feel more clean, to
Yeah.
feel
And
like
you can
I've
use words to support this, right? So, like, as I wash my face, I wash away any energy that does not belong to me, any energy
mm-hmm,
that is harmful, that does not serve me. Or,
yeah,
like, something I say every day as I put my lotion on is, like, as this lotion nourishes my body, may my, like, soul be nourished as well, that I may have the energy I need, that I may be
oh
nourished in the way I need. You can
yeah,
tell I do it very intuitively because I don't have set words. It's like a little different each
yes,
time, but it's always like, may I be nourished? May I have what I need to move through this day? Like,
may
may
I
I
be
be
sexy.
hydrated? May I be sexy?
Yeah. And then so like when we're thinking about the way that we dress, I think this is also just something that a lot of people do really reflexively. Um, but wearing different colors can bring different energies and can say like not only just like signal to other people about you, but can really affect the way that you move forward with yourself. Like, and I think this will be another episode that we
Yeah, color
do
magic. Yeah.
color magic, which is like wearing red usually is associated with a lot of confidence or assertiveness. So if you're going
Yeah.
to have a really hard conversation or you're doing a presentation or you like need to impress someone, red can be really helpful for building that confidence. If you're
Yeah.
kind of feeling like more conserving your energy or you're feeling a little more like I want to be a little more low key. I don't want to be a main character. I want to be an NPC in my day today. Wearing all black or brown or like very neutral
Yeah, or like
colors.
gray. Yeah.
And it's not a bad
I love
thing.
using white when I'm feeling really energetically sensitive because that can help you keep from
Oh,
like picking up anything that doesn't belong to you. It's like sort of
yeah.
like a spiritual shield.
Yeah. Oh, I
Wearing a
love
white.
that.
Yeah.
Wearing yellow for like a lot of energy and happiness and joy.
Yeah.
Wearing green for feelings of like peace and calm and groundedness.
Or like abundance
Or
and
abundance.
yeah. Orange is also
Totally.
great for like calling in success and creativity and abundance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other colors? Blue for calm. I also know
Yeah.
like it
Peace.
can
Yeah.
peace, intuition.
It's also associated with the throat, so like speaking your truth. If you again,
Oh,
if you're having a tough conversation, but you're less worried about like confidence or impressing someone and more worried about like being able to say what you want to say, like blue is
mm-hmm.
great for that.
Yeah. And then purple if you're feeling a little bit like I have my little purple hair. Sometimes it's the crown chakra is
Yeah,
associated
yeah, and
with
it's
purple,
associated with like intuition, psychic abilities, like
connecting with the greater
I think it's
whole.
the third eye. The crown is
Is it?
white. Yeah, the third
Is the
eye is
crown white?
purple.
Okay, third
Yeah.
eye, you're right. Oh, for intuiting and for like being able to like see deeper into things. You can
Yeah,
tell that
yeah.
I'm
See the
not
truth.
a
Yeah.
super chakra person, but I do love my chakras, and that should
Yeah.
be another episode as well. Because oh man, um, but yeah. So there's a lot of different ways, and incorporating that with makeup too. I think
Yeah.
makeup has a really strong history with witchcraft as well.
Yeah.
That red lip was associated with being like a witch, being a seductress, and it does
Yeah.
have like a really cool there's a lot of really cool like medical history stuff with
Yeah, we
makeup.
can get into that when we do our glamour magic episode because we're gonna do a whole
Yeah,
episode on glamour magic.
yeah, but the association with like red lip being associated with someone who's powerful because it did
Yeah.
used to be used with like a poisonous substance before we
Yeah.
had like makeup regulation and things like that.
Yeah.
But being able to wear like a bold lip,
Yeah.
just know that it's also connected very strongly to history and actual things that have like
Yeah.
happened, but it can make you feel like more confident, more sexy. Like it's kind of like putting on like a costume almost. Like,
Yeah.
where like I love putting on like a bolder eyebrow if I'm feeling like I
Yeah.
want to be a little bit more present because there's like facial features that you can accentuate. Um, Being able to put on like a huge winged eyeliner if I'm feeling a little more dramatic, and like all of these,
Yeah.
I put on pink eyeshadow today because I was like I'm just feeling like really kind of giddy and like
Yeah,
happy.
I was gonna say on the flip side, like sometimes I put on like more like girly, like traditional, like scare quotes,
Hmm.
girly makeup when I want to feel like just like
Hmm.
soft and sweet and like,
Yeah.
approachable.
Yeah, 100%. And I definitely like I will choose my makeup based on maybe like the outfit that I'm picking, but mostly I pick it on like what's my kind of
Yeah.
vibe today? Am I feeling
Yeah.
kind of like mystical purpley? Am I feeling more like naturey, like neutral or
Yeah.
greens? Am I feeling kind of like more calm, grounded? I'll just do less.
I love
You
that.
know, yeah, there's like a lot of different ways that you can it's like doing art on your
It
face,
is.
and art is infused with a lot of meaning, so you can put a lot of meaning into what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean we'll do a whole deep dive with our glamour magic to like going into this in greater detail, but I think just like with any of the kind of the same things we were saying with all the other stuff, it's a mix of like what is the energy of this thing, right? So the color
Mm-hmm.
I'm using, or like I have a makeup palette where each of the eyeshadows has a word under it, then one of it's like courage or like creativity. And
Aw,
so I'll use that palette when I want to like bring in those energies, right? So like what's the
cute.
energy of the thing? And then also like how are you doing it in an intentional, magical way? So are you
Yeah.
concentrating on the energy you're trying to bring in as you put the makeup on? Are you saying out loud like I always when I put my sunscreen on every morning, I say like will this may this keep me protected from anything that would cause me
Mm-hmm.
harm intentionally or otherwise, right? So like a little
Yeah.
protection spell. Um, so I think that those are really great ways to just like add intention and magic into how you're taking care of your
Mm-hmm.
body and how you're dressing up your body.
And to be super practical, when I'm putting on my winged eyeliner, I go, dear God, please let this go on straight and may them be sisters and not second cousins.
May they be twins.
May they be twins, identical or fraternal. May
Ideally
they not be this
identical.
ideally identical twins. Yeah. And that's very, very practical magic. It's not easy. That shit is not easy. I think also just as a kind of like body self-care thing, this is less appearance wise,
Mhm.
but kind of like what you were saying, like carrying different energies with you, carrying different things
Mhm.
that like stick to you. I've definitely talked about these spells that I do, and I just came up with them by myself. So you figure out like what you do. There's different people who do like different grounding techniques with like
Yeah.
pressure points or sense or tactile sensory things. But one of my favorite ways to imbue myself with certain magics is to, yeah, like physically brush off negative
Yeah.
energies from my body and kind of say that to myself,
Yeah.
like, hey, today was a really shitty day. I don't want, and I'll just like brush off my arms like I'm brushing off dust and just be like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just don't want that person's like ick energy on me. I'm going to brush
Yeah.
that off. Or if I'm going to do something really hard, like at my job, it's like talking to parents or talking to a patient who's
Mhm.
really unhappy with something or dealing with somebody's like really strong emotion, sadness, anger, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I will physically make like a Wizard of Oz, like wicked, like Galinda style bubble around myself.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I'll make a bubble around myself and I'll say, you know what, whatever is in here, and this bubble is very malleable. It's like a little morph suit of bubble, and I'll just put it around. I'll really imagine this bubble being created around me and say, like,
Yeah.
this is my happy space. Whatever people are dealing with out there has nothing to do with me. I'm
Mm.
in my own thing. People can throw things at me, and I'm here to help, but it won't
Yeah.
stick to me. And I'm just
I
going to
love
keep this
that.
bubble. Yeah, I'm just going to keep this here and let all those things like slide off like water off a duck's back.
Yeah.
Um, and then if I really need an energy like confidence or kindness, if I'm really struggling with dealing with someone who you're like, oh my God, I like really just don't have the time
Yeah.
for them, I will say like I'm imbuing myself with empathy, or I'm imbuing myself
Mm.
with confidence. I'm imbuing myself with kindness, courage,
Yeah.
directness, and I'll just like give myself big squeeze,
Mm.
and I'll just like try to like soak it all in. Or I'll do that for other people too. If I feel comfortable with them or they are okay with me touching
Yeah.
them, I'll like give them a big squeeze and be like, you're a fucking confident lady. Like,
Well, and I think that's just like back to that idea that like magic is all thought, right? And
yeah.
so it's like we've talked about all these different tools you can use, all these herbs, all these things, but ultimately like visualize it and think it, and that's where the real magic is, right? So like
Yeah.
if you come up with a visualization that helps focus your thoughts the same way these like practical, tangible magics do, that
Hmm.
works just as well.
Yeah. It really helps like connect brain body. You
Yeah.
can have all these thoughts, but actually being able to do a thing where I'm like, oh my God, I'm really struggling with this concept. I'm really struggling to learn this thing, and being able to
Yeah.
like hold my little brain lovingly and being like, you're working so hard. You hold so much big things, and you can hold more things because we are sponges and we're always learning. You can do this. Like,
Oh,
I can
yeah.
think those things, but actually like taking the time to do it really helps like
Yes. It
soak it in.
focuses the thought. It
Yeah.
focuses the energy, right? Like the
Yeah.
physical manifestation of, or like for me, it's speaking it out loud, like saying the
Yeah.
spell instead of just thinking it can make such a huge difference.
Yeah. And one thing that I always tell, because so much of magic is also like connected to mental health.
Yeah.
Being able to physically do things, see things, or read things really helps us. And what I always tell my patients is, and I'm really bad at this. Negative self-talk is something so common with
Yeah.
almost everyone. If you don't have negative self-talk, like call me, tell me how to do it. Like, we're really critical of ourselves, and
Yeah.
it's really easy to like get stuck in these thought traps. So being able to do these little rituals, do these spells, do makeup, do simmer pots, like whatever you're doing with intention, it is you are seeing the practical results of
Mhm.
things that you are thinking.
Yeah.
And I always say our brains have like we have still like caveman lizard brain living back
Yeah.
there. That's really dumb. And it really just deals in what's right in front of us. So
Yeah.
when you are saying negative things to yourself, your brain is hearing also negative things about yourself. When you are seeing negative things, your brain reads it and digests it as new information.
Mhm.
So when you are doing these things, you are giving yourself tangible things that your brain can say, like writing affirmations on the mirror, like with an expo marker or a dry erase
Yeah.
marker, and saying like you're beautiful. Your brain is literally reading it, being like, "Oh shit, that's true," or like, you know,
Totally. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
power posing. You know, like standing
Totally.
confidently in front of the mirror. You are giving your less developed brain reasons to believe the things that you are doing, which is why this is also important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's all just a
trick
tool to focus the mind, right?
trick your lizard brain.
Trick your brain, that is magic.
Yeah, that's magic. That's it.
Well, I love that. I guess as we wrap up, the last thing we wanted to talk about was our favorite resources for practical magic.
Yeah.
Caitlin, what are your favorite practical magic resources?
So I think both of our favorites is intuition.
Intuition is everything.
Yeah, if you
Intuition
like
is the
it,
best tool you have.
yeah, if you like it, do it. Like if you
If it
need to
feels
workshop
right,
it,
if it feels aligned, like trust that. Listen to your gut. We should
yeah,
do a
and
whole
if
episode about like how to listen to intuition, but yeah.
completely. Yeah, but like I don't know, you can also just like try things and workshop things. Like we've said in a lot of other ways, like, you know, like how we started this podcast, like reading tarot cards, a lot of it was like, okay, listening to direction, listening to things. And then as we became more comfortable in what we were doing, jazzing it up a little bit, like figuring out how it works for us has made it so much stronger in the way we practice. So there's so many guides that will
Yeah.
tell you like how to start things, but then ultimately like workshop it, tweak it. There's no like set thing that you can do. Sarah says a different freaking spell every time. Like
Yeah, exactly.
whatever
Like
you
let whatever
decide.
comes through. And I think that
Yeah.
the resources can be a great like for me a lot of it's like I will read a spell or a prayer or whatever that somebody else
Hmm.
has written.
Hmm.
And then as I'm reading it in my head, I'll be like, I like that, but I want to substitute
Yeah.
lemon, or I want to say this instead of that, or I want to
Yep.
use this planetary symbol instead of that planet. Like and adjust
Yeah.
it in a way that feels more intuitively aligned for me and
Yeah.
my lineage and my like magic and how my magic functions.
Yeah. So trial and error.
Yeah, trial and error,
Trial and error.
intuition, and
Yeah.
books.
and books. So I do have actually, I have a book and I don't have it with me right now, but Sarah actually got me this book called Basic Witch. It's really cute and it's about like little rituals to do every day for modern witches because a lot of the
Yeah.
witch resources that we have are kind of like more like go and gather your crops,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
but this one is like how to text with intentions, how to
Oh,
like,
I love that.
whatever.
Oh
So
my
it's
God,
cute
that's one
little
of my favorite
things.
little practical magics is emoji spells.
Oh my
Where
God,
when I'm
that's really
texting
cute.
people, I'll put in like three or I got this from I don't think they're still recording anymore, but Third Eye Blind or Third
Mm.
Eye Bind is the name of the podcast. And there's some like old episodes you can listen to, but they talk about emoji spells and I love it so much. Of like if you're like you can do it on Instagram if you're texting a friend or something and you're like good luck and then like put like five little emojis that like symbolize luck to you and like add that
Is
little
that
magic in
is that
there.
always why I use the sparkle emoji? Because I'm
I
like,
do it
all
all the
right, I
time to
love
like
you,
add a little
magic.
magic. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, just because it's modern tools doesn't mean it's any less potent.
Yeah.
It's still a tool.
Yeah.
And then my other one that I really love that I talked about last episode is the Witch's Bible.
Yes.
It's very Wiccan based, but it does have
Mm.
like a lot of different ways to express and like different rituals that again, like I will read it and be like, that's super nice, but I can't really be naked in my backyard because I got a lot of neighbors. Super love that. But yeah, so it's like it's a really good basis to draw a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Like a lot of different ideas from. So I do like the Witch's
Oh,
Bible a lot.
good.
Mm. How about yourself?
So before I get to all my books, I think
Oh no.
I'll be
Like
quick.
what
I'll be quick.
no, what flood I love what floodgates I have opened. I say oh no in the most loving way possible.
I think the internet can actually be quite a good resource.
Yes.
I do quite honestly just Google sometimes, like herbs for cleansing or like,
Yeah.
spells for abundance and just see what comes up. And then that's where like discernment and intuition are key to see if it actually feels
Hmm.
aligned for you, but it's a great place to start. There's also I'm part of this community called Moon Shadows. It's a Discord community. You can join it by going to motherofmystics.com. That's my mentor, Kaitlyn Grania. And
Go
it
into it
is
now.
like a Discord community. You have to pay. It's a paid membership.
Okay.
But but it's well worth it. Like not only do you get access to the Discord community, but there's a whole like grimoire of spells and rituals and things that you can access there. Um and in the Discord community, we are very active and very like knowledgeable community. So I'll hop on there and say like, what are your guys' favorite spells for like clearing the path or for like breaking, like cutting of the cord or whatever thing I'm working with? And like we'll get so many good, juicy answers that have been like practiced and tested and worked. So that's another great resource that I use. And then I was like, I should check my bookshelf. Like, I don't really think I have any, but like, I don't know. I guess I love books. I'll probably have something. And then
You
in
guessed.
true book nerd fashion, this is the stack of books I pulled out.
Oh, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 books that Sarah is holding, and they're not all tiny. They are chunky, chunky,
So I will be
chunkies.
quick about them. This one, rather than being a specific book, I just wanted to shout out the Modern Witchcraft Guide to series. So the Modern Witchcraft Guide to, and then they'll have like runes, like fairies, like spell crafting, whatever. I got this at a thrift store. Honestly, by the way it was designed, thinking it was going to be kind of bullshit. And it was like one of the better witchy books I've ever bought. And so this series, the Modern Witchcraft Guide 2, is just they're all written by different people because it's all whoever knows that
Oh,
thing.
okay, that's
Um,
cool.
but they have a huge it's Simon and Schuster. They have a huge selection of they're so good. Um Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer, a
Yeah.
wonderful book about living in community with the earth and the land spirits. Like she doesn't talk about it in that way, but it is really transformative and like framing your brain around how to live in reciprocity with the earth.
Mhm.
So that's a really great one. Uh, Bones and Honey, a Heathen Prayer Book by Danielle Dulski is full of prayers that are like spells, basically. They're heathen like spells. And so there's things all through it, like they're sorted. Hold on, let me open to the table of contents into like prayers for hope, like prayers for empowerment, prayers for secret keepers, midnight poets, and fringe dwellers. And so you can like find your topic. And then within that, there's very specific prayers. So I was recently working with a client who was doing some deep healing work and used their like prayer for healing something that's like won't go away or like won't leave you
Mm,
alone and like a stubborn problem. So it's really great source for if you're looking for like words to say as a part of your spell. Love this one.
I just looked it up and its byline is wild medicine for apocalyptic times.
I love
That's
that.
pretty wonderful. I'm looking all of
Yeah.
these books up while you're mentioning them, by the way.
This is my fatty friend. The Book of Symbols. It's huge. It is the Book of Symbols, Reflections on Archetypal Images. It's, let's look, 800 pages. But it has any kind of thing you could be thinking of, like, okay, what is the symbolism of the bird, like a bird or the scarab beetle? And then it
Hmm.
has a whole page that talks about like the symbolism of how that thing has appeared in different cultures.
Wow.
And then it'll have like photos, like historical images that represent that. And this is really useful if you find that you're like dreaming about certain animals or you keep seeing some symbol show up in your life and you can't quite figure out what it means. This is a great way to get like historical context of like what that sign or symbol could be talking about.
I might buy that for myself for my
It's
birthday.
such a good one. Maybe you
Okay.
shouldn't buy it for yourself and maybe
Okay,
someone else will gift it to.
I'm not gonna buy it for my birthday. Oh no, what did I say? I'm like adding so many of these to my cart right now
They're
though.
so good. This is a new one, so I have less experience with it, but I've flipped through it and I love it.
I've
Do you know
seen
this one?
this. Yes.
It's called The Witch's Workshop, a guide to crafting your own magical tools. And it has really great like tools for making or recipes rather for making different tools of witchcraft. So let's see, let's flip to a random page. This one is about making a protection scarf, which is very
Ooh,
practical magic.
I love that.
So
Oh,
it's fantastic. It's also just beautiful. It's like very modern, like homesteader chic. I love it.
homesteader chic. Oh my God. I love that.
These two, The Wall Altar Within by Juliet Diaz and Incantations Embodied by Kimberly Rodriguez, are both like interactive. So they have like journal prompts and exercises, and they're a great way to kind of like get more connected with your intuition, get more connected with your magic, and give you tools and resources for like bringing magic into everything you do.
Mm.
10 out of 10. Almost done.
This is like the fastest book tour ever.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to take a whole half hour on it. Um, Sacred Herbs and Herbal Remedies. Sacred Herbs by Opal Streisand. Herbal Remedies by John Camarata. Also in this category, which I don't have on me, is Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. These are all really great sources. I am not an herbalist, but these are really great for looking things up. So if you're like, what is the use of this? Like, herb or like uh what could I use for this purpose, like either direction. These are all both really great resources for like figuring that out and understanding the sacred powers of various herbs.
I love that.
For you beginner witches out there, Anyone Can Be a Perfect Witch by Ambrosia Hawthorne is a great like intro to witchcraft and has a lot of like practical magic tools and advice for like modern witchcraft, like the emoji spell type magic is
Oh.
very it's very like modern, very queer, very great book.
Mm.
And last but not least is The House Witch
Oh,
Your Complete Guide to Creating a Magical Space with Rituals and Spells for the Hearth and Home, by Aaron Murphy Hiscock. What a
his
last
cock.
name. Yeah, you heard it.
Mm,
Hiscock is how you spell his last name. Their last name. I have no idea what their
perfect.
gender is. They also are the author of The Green Witch, which is great if you're more of like a plant person, but this is full of spells and ideas for like everything we talked about today, right? So it's got like simmer pot recipes in here. It's got like herbal sleep pillows, um, potpourri for like different purposes. It's got blessing your kitchen appliances, like
I
energy
love that.
maintenance in your home. So this is like exactly what we were talking about today, the house witch.
I
Uh,
love that.
and that's my stack of resources for you.
I just realized I have a resource downstairs and I don't know if I should go get it.
You can just talk about it.
I haven't touched it in a really long time. That's why
Yeah,
it's like
I can
on
cut
my
this
shelf
out. Go get
downstairs.
it.
Okay. Love you, bitch.
BRB.
All right. And as a bonus for the listeners who are watching this on
Oh, look
YouTube,
who's with us, little Soda.
yeah, she's still loves being on my shoulders. Okay.
Oh, okay. So what is you thought of one more resource.
Actually,
Please
two.
show and tell.
Of course, these are all thrifted books. The complete book of Ayurvedic home remedies.
Ooh, nice.
Mine is a lot about um, medical stuff because I'm always interested
Mm.
in different ways to treat and support your your body. So like this is all to do with Ayurvedic based medicine.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
yeah. So like different ways to like before going to bed, like cleansing your teeth and tongue, like
Oh,
different ways to
yeah, I
focus
love
on
that.
what body kind of type that you have, what Ayurvedic
And how
type
to care
you
for
are,
it. Yeah.
and how to care for it. And then, of course, I love this. It's Bartram's Encyclopedia of Herbal Medicine.
Mm,
We have a little passion flower here, a little mortar and pestle,
mm.
and it's literally just, oh, there's something for genital herpes in here. Like
Deep, deep collection of resources. I mean, that's a huge chunky
conjunct
book. Yeah.
conjunctivitis, and it's very, very dense. So mine
Yeah.
is all about like medical
Yeah, like
remedies.
practical, like herbalism and remedies. And we'll do a whole episode on herbalism, ideally with a
Yeah,
guest who knows what they're talking about.
yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, so mine is all just kind of like things that you can keep on your shelf to see if you can like
Yeah.
infuse different like things that you have at your disposal and in your kitchen to hopefully influence like your health and your body.
Yeah. Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
And
All
all you
right,
can see
well,
is my dog's butt.
it is supposed to be your turn to end the card with a tarot card pull, but if your hands are full, I can do it.
No, it's okay. Look at my hands.
Yeah,
They are not.
perfect.
Okay,
All
so
right,
I
so do
don't.
you wanna close us out with a tarot card reading?
Yes, I do. All right, so I'm
And
gonna
I
have to
think
put you
as per
down.
usual, like what is the card or energy to support people as they embark on their practical magic explorations?
Okay. I think I'm going to use this one.
Ooh.
I haven't used her in the podcast or even really, I talked about her a little bit in the podcast, but this is my Elemental Power Tarot card deck, what have you. Um, oh, I don't like the bottom of the deck is just death right now, but hey. All right. So yeah, how do we hey cards? I don't know if you heard what Sarah said. I don't think you did. But we're asking questions about how we move forward with practical magic, what kind of energy we need to use while infusing this into our life, how we need to take care of ourselves, etc., etc. Thank you. All right, cards, get over here. I feel like it's over here. Okay, yeah, it's over here. The silence is great for podcasting. I think it's you.
I mean, I
Ooh,
have editing abilities.
no. We got the Five of Pentacles.
Ooh, ooh, I love that.
Ooh. So
So in this one, it shows what are those? Like coins?
they're coins, but they have two of them have a lady's profile on it, and then
Okay.
three of them have a little octopus on them.
Oh, wow. And
And
then
then we
they're
have
like
the
connected by a
alchemical.
whole root system.
We have the alchemical symbol for Earth up here, and then the five down here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay, so what's your take?
My take on it is I have to remember what this is for like the
So
Rider
I'm
Waite
pulling it
too.
up right now, but in the Rider-Waite, it's the one where it's got the church window with the five pentacles on
Oh,
it.
yeah, that's what
And
I was
there's like
thinking.
two people who look really like world weary. They've been through a lot. They're walking by on like a cane and in ragged clothing or crutches and ragged clothing. And they're walking through like a blizzard.
Isn't it funny how we always have to like kind of like remember your Rider Waite like as a
It
baseline?
depends. I mean, I think that's part of
Depends.
like the deck, right? Some decks you can just get their own message. Some of them you have to look back and be like, wait, what does this mean?
I think for this, for me, this feels like very interconnected.
Mm.
It's like a lot about like kind of a lot of what we've been talking about today, this kind of like karmic idea about like
Mm,
being able to use like energy is abundant, magical energy is
yeah,
very abundant, and being able to use it to bring people together or be able to like rely on different
yeah,
parts of your life or whatever you have at your disposal to make things happen,
yeah.
and to use it for good and to use it to help other people or to
Mm.
help yourself. And I feel like that's very much the energy of this card. It
And I
does
always
say,
think,
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I always think with the Five of Pentacles, for me, it's always a card of like, you're not alone. Like the help is available. Like these people are walking
Yeah,
through this storm, and it's like all you got to do is walk inside. There's that warm church. And so in the context of practical magic, I think it's a reminder that like it's fun. It's like we're kind of being very casual and cavalier as we talk about it, but it's also like a real support system that is available to you, that like you
yeah.
have this magical aid that is available to you through in all aspects of your life.
Yeah, and I think it's also like a call to look into places that you maybe wouldn't look into before.
Hmm.
Like you probably do have things in your pantry, you have things in your closet, you
Yeah.
have things in your arsenal to make these
Right. There's
things
more
really
available to you
happen.
than you maybe realize.
And I think there's more that connects us than doesn't too, which is a
Yeah.
way that like witchcraft can be really helpful. Like practical magic can be really helpful. Those spells that I
Yeah.
mentioned, like those are ways that I've really connected with people, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that is a really great tarot. You've done it again.
Tarot, you've done. Did you want to read
Thank you.
from the booklet or
Oh yeah, I can give you a
sorry, I just saw
little.
you picking it up, so I didn't want to.
Yeah, no, I it says while there may be some truth in your perception of scarcity, focusing on it is only making it seem larger and more ominous than it actually is.
Yeah, like
It's
the
possible to
classic.
Yeah, it's possible to look at things realistically while maintaining focus on what's available to you instead of what isn't.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so there we go. That's actually like very appropriate. And so I guess it's just keep an open mind, keep curious, and see where we can kind of like even things out, see where you can have your needs met or meet the needs
Yeah.
of others. And
And
you
know that you
probably
are
got it around.
supported. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's a
I
nice
love
way to end it.
that. Well, on that note, we'll be back next week with a great new episode of that. Oh, I think we're back to deck reviews next week.
Yeah, I think it's
So
my deck review.
you will be reviewing the Witch Oracle.
Oh,
Da-da-da-da. Okay, so come back in a week for that. And in the meantime, like us, follow us, subscribe, leave a review. Um,
tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Yes, love that. Go to our website, sarahdittmore.com/podcast to explore like resources and give us feedback and get in
Mhm.
touch. And I think that's it.
Tell us what practical magic spells you might have.
Yeah.
I would love to hear that if anybody
Yeah,
wants
send us your
to
favorite
submit.
spell.
Yeah.
I love that.
Mhm.
Anything else?
No, really, just can't wait to see what next week brings.
Amazing. Well, on that note, as is above,
So is below,
as is within.
so is without.
Thank you
I love you.
and blessed
Blessed
be.
be.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.